And here's my co-host.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all.
Yeah, guys, we're here to talk to you about a very interesting subject. Should you date someone who still has their ex hanging around, like in their life? And before we talk about that topic, look, I just want to say thank you for all the supporters who like the Facebook page, who support us, who are there for us, helping us grow our channel. I'm always going to say this at the beginning of every live, we're not here to change the space. We're here to add value to the space and have fun doing it.
Yep.
So, if you guys can smash that like button, find us on YouTube. We provide the links down below. Help us grow our YouTube channel, guys. Like, we're really trying to grow our YouTube, Instagram. You know what I mean? Every like matters. Every comment matters. So it would be
Game
greatly
bold.
appreciated. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, game bold.
Exactly.
Like, we've got some great topics, and at the end of the day, like I've seen, people do put on there like they can't wait to hear the topic. So, but then you get the silent ones, and I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I watch it." It's like, well, like it.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Well,
know.
like it then. Yeah.
We know. Then if we know, then it helps us, and we can do things towards you guys as well to help you guys out. And like Mike has always saying, we're not here to change the space, we're here to add, and we're here having a conversation about things that matter. They really do matter. Relationships are huge, aren't part of everybody's life, and it's not just in a romantic way. Relationships are what the world is made of, whether it's business, whether it's friendships, whether it's associates, whatever it is. Everything is a relationship, even down to money and cars. You have a relationship with these things, right?
Well, that's why I was going to wait until the end, but I guess I'll tell you guys now is next week we have a special topic lined up. I haven't told Anthea. I know that we've been talking a lot about dating. We're actually next week I'm going to have a topic where we're actually just going to talk about how to have a good relationship with self.
Perfect.
Because I noticed that we've been talking a lot about, how to navigate the dating world. I'm like, okay, that's great and all, but I think that a topic needs to be had is, what is the relationship with you like?
And
so
that's first and foremost, right, Michael?
Yeah, so it starts there. So we're going to have that topic lined up for next week. And then I also have another special topic lined up for you guys as well. And it's for the ladies, but men can chime in too, is how to know if somebody likes you versus how to know if they just want to have sex with you. Because a lot of people
I love these topics. I love them. They're great topics.
Because a lot of people fall into that trap. Oh, but they said this, and this, but
Yeah.
And we're gonna have that discussion. So I'm gonna play the promo video, and then we're gonna get started. Okay, guys, let's get started. So, if anybody wants to chime in the chat, like, comment, subscribe, or say anything, go right ahead. We read all chats and comments. Should you date someone who has their ex hanging around? Go.
No. And listen, I'm going to say no, and then I'm going to say it depends again on the circumstances. So if it's obviously somebody who has a child with somebody, then their ex is going to be around. However, how do they go and sit there all day? Do they go spend their days with them, their time with them? Or do they just go pick up their child and go about their business? It depends, doesn't it? So, but if we're talking about somebody who's completely single, doesn't have children, and I don't see why you would. Why would you have your ex? Why would you be with somebody that has their ex around? Why do they want to be around their ex? They were with them because there was an attraction to start with. That attraction doesn't just go away. You don't just drop your emotions or drop your feelings towards somebody and then that's the end of it. There's always going to be, like we've said before, Michael, in previous episodes, where you've got a male and a female, there's always 90% of the time it's going to be one like the other. Right?
Exactly. And, to add on to Anthea's comment, if someone still has their ex around, do this. And we could just end the podcast there, but we won't.
I think it is a running one. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Go.
Guys, look, guys, I'm going to say the reason why you shouldn't date someone with their ex around is because, think about it, you're entering the dating marketplace, guy or girl, and you find someone new that you like, right? You really like them, but you still chat with your ex. Like, there's still that communication. And then it comes up in a topic, because it's going to come up, like, oh, hey, what were your past relationships like, or what were your experiences? Because obviously, if you like the person, you want to know what they've experienced in life. So then the person says to you, oh, yeah, I still talk to my ex. Why? Think about it. If you want to get to know someone new, and this is a problem that a lot of people make, because you like someone so much, you'll still go out with them even though they have their ex around. That should be a no at that point, because you need to understand that, think about it, they used to share memories with that person. They used to share their body with that person. They used to have experience with that person. And it's like, if it's dead, it should be dead. Now, in the context, as Anthea said, if there is items that you guys have together, there's because all circumstances are different. Maybe like a house and you guys are separated, or you guys have kids. It should just be cordial and go.
Yeah.
But
and you know the difference.
Exactly. It should be cordial and that's it. But a straight up ex around, no. Because the thing is, it's detrimental to the new relationship that you have going on with this new person.
And why would you want? Yeah, and why would you want your new partner to feel insecure from the off go? Because it's going to cause some kind of insecurity, isn't it? Like, no matter what, even if you've got to that, when we speak next week, we'll speak about self-love and self-respect and the rest of it. But even if you've got that, how can I say, you're just not gonna, even if you've done personal development, you're in a good place. You've let go of everything. You're turning up to the new who you are, and you're not bringing baggage on with you into the relationship. But then your partner comes along and says, listen, I'm really good friends with my ex. They start going out, and you notice that they go out more with them than what they do with you. You speak to them on the phone all the time. Then what are you doing with me around? You don't need me around, or you don't want me around, because you've got somebody already there. So it's making it be a three-way dynamic, which doesn't need to be. It just doesn't need to be. Like you rightfully said, when you finish with someone, you're done with someone. I've done this before. I've made this mistake. And it makes it awkward, because when my ex has called me and I've got my partner there, like they say, and we have a conversation, and I don't know, you ask my ex. Well, they're like, well, why are you speaking to your ex? A good question.
It's also understanding that with your ex, they have a connection with you that you don't have with them yet.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Let's say you're getting to know them and you're 3 weeks into the relationship and they're still talking to their ex. They have a relationship with that individual that you don't have yet.
Absolutely. So,
and
there's no need to go there. If you still got affairs with your ex and you're still having conversations with them, and then obviously you need to work out, why is that happening? Understand who likes who
is going to be honest with you in that. It's because they're keeping their options open.
Yeah, well, they need to understand why, and find that, and then ask that if they can they need to communicate that. And if someone says it's because I'm keeping options open, then you're being used, man.
Well, let's keep it a buck. No one's going to tell you that flat off the bat. No one's going to tell you that they're keeping their options open, but there's signs that you could see that they are. If their ex is still around and they haven't deaded their ex, what they're doing is they want to get to know someone new. And just in case it doesn't work out with that new person and their ex ever changes their mind, they have that option too.
Yeah. And
that's why they're still there, because they might still have some unresolved feelings with their ex. They still might want to go be with their ex. And then what happens is they know that maybe the timing's right, but they do want to, you know, be in a loving relationship. So then they'll get to know somebody new. And we see it happen quite a bit where the person will date some people and then they'll be like, oh, you know what? I really miss my ex though. And then they end up going back to an ex-boyfriend or an ex-lover. So for me, it's like, look, I'm going to give you guys the very, very easy solution. If somebody tells me that they still talk to their ex, number one, on the inside, I'm laughing. Literally, I'm laughing because at that point, and I'm going to give you guys the best solution on how to deal with it. If you're getting to know somebody, you don't do this at dinner, but if you're getting to know them and they say, hey, I still talk to my ex, you tell them this: I really appreciate you getting to know me. I'm really enjoying the vibe here, but I need to dead it for now. And what I mean by that is you need to come back to me when your ex is out of your life.
Yeah, because there is definitely unresolved emotions there for you to keep your ex around.
It's that simple. You tell the person, hey, you need to go handle that. And that's the thing. A lot of people will say, well, no, you're controlling. You're telling me what to do. No, I'm not. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm just letting you know that if you want to be with me, that's not something I deal with. You see the difference? It's not an insecure thing because, and again, I'm going to go on a tangent here. I hate shaming language. When somebody tries to make somebody feel bad for an idea for saying, well, hey, I don't deal with women that still have their exes around. Oh, you're insecure. No, I'm very secure. It's just not a behavior that I tolerate.
Absolutely. Because you've got self-respect for yourself. You're not having that.
But a lot of people like to shame people for those decisions. All you're telling the person is this, straight up, look, when you handle that, and it's up to you, if you handle that and the situation's deaded and he's not in your life or she's not in your life anymore, come back and we can resume the relationship.
This is the thing. It's like, and if you're getting with someone and you want marriage in your life, then why would you want an ex-partner around? Because if you want marriage, then you want marriage with one particular person. You're not going to get married to 2-3 people at once.
Yeah, because that's the end goal, right? It's for the relationship to head to marriage.
Yeah, so why would you want an extra person in that? And it just causes a dynamic that doesn't need to be there. And like I said, there's obviously issues still there. There's obviously emotions still running around. Or if somebody says, yeah, but I get on really well with them, well, go with them, like you said, right? Unless go be with them. If you get on really well with them, why are you looking for someone else? There's no reason.
But it's probably because they don't want them right now. Yeah. And they haven't gotten over the relationship.
Exactly.
But the narrative, because there's that new narrative where, hey, to get over an ex, date someone new. There's that narrative to go be with somebody new. And it's like, no, to be with nobody.
Yeah.
If you are still lingering over your ex, you have no business dating anybody.
That's right.
And putting them in your mix of your crap storm of you not dealing with your emotions and getting over your ex. Because now you're bringing a third person in, as Anthea said, in your kerfuffle of crap. Because then what happens is, let's say you decide to date the person, right? And let's say they really like you and you really like them. But then let's say their ex decides to say, hey, you know what? I think we're the one made for each other. Guess what? He or she is leaving you to go back to them. There's history there. They're not going to stay with you because there's maybe only a little bit of history, but they have major history back with that person. So that's why I'm telling you that it's unacceptable.
It is. Because even if, let's say there's a disagreement comes around between the two new partners, then the one that's got their ex around is more likely to go back to the ex and say, oh, he done this or she done that to me and blah, blah. And they're going to fall into the arms of who? the ex-partner, who they have slept with many times, who they have got history with, who they can relate to. So why, you know, it just don't, yeah, it's a completely thing of
let's keep it a buck. Where does most cheating start?
from the ex-partner.
Multiple coworker,
Yep.
ex-partner, or like coworker, ex-partner, or a friend.
Or a friend, that's right.
Those three.
Yeah.
Because if you're dating somebody and they already feel comfortable with that individual, a friend, a coworker, or an ex-lover, that's who they're going to cheat on you with.
Yep.
As Anthea said, if something goes left in the relationship, and this is why I'm a huge advocate of not talking about your relationship to other people, or unless you keep it to a small group of people that you truly trust that are in happy relationships, or you know that give sound advice. If you guys get into an argument, she or he or she is running over there.
That's the first place they're going to.
And again, if it happens all the time, like not seeing you guys fight all the time, but if there's arguments and he or she is running over there all the time, eventually that other person starts to look good.
Yeah, because they're always there for them, huh?
Yeah, because they're always there for them. They start to look good.
Yeah.
They start to look like, Captain America from the Avengers. They're always going to be there to save you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or if it's a guy, the girl's starting to look like Black Widow. She's going to keep you safe. She's making you feel like a man.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to tell you that, and we'll go both narratives. Let's say it's a guy and a girl dating, and the girl still has her ex around, and she's dating a guy. And her and this new guy are, they're getting along, but there's fights from time to time. Eventually, she's going to run back to her ex, not as in a sense of run back, but she'll be like, oh, this new guy, he fights with me sometimes and blah, 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 or whatever. And he's going to be like, oh, that guy's no good for you.
Yeah.
He's trash. You need to go be with somebody like, he's not going to say it because he doesn't want to be respectful, or sometimes they will. You need to come be with, and then the more and more that she keeps going to him whenever there's problems, eventually she'll be like, you know what? This new guy I'm dating is trash. I think we need to give us a go again. Or it's the same thing with a guy dealing with a female. He has a good girl. He has a girlfriend and he has an ex-lover, and he goes back to her and tells him his problems, and she listens. She makes him feel like a man. She makes him feel understood, or whatever. And then, she's starting to look good. He's starting to be like, damn, this is a safe space. And that's the thing. We're emotional creatures. Whoever it is, guy or girl, is going to start to gravitate towards that. They're making you feel a certain way.
Absolutely. And that's just natural, isn't it? And if you really break that down and think about it, it's a natural thing. It's like if you've got friends around and you've realized that, you come to a point where your friendship has come to an end, you don't keep them around.
Mm-mm.
The friendships come to an end, it's come to an end. You go about your business. You don't go back and dabble it back into that friendship and then come back out again. You've either got that friend or you don't have that friend. The same with the relationship. You either have them or you don't have them. And obviously it's a slightly bit more detrimental in a romantic relationship because you're going to bring somebody else in at some point. So I think through the respect for yourself and the respect for your own relationship, I think it's a big no to not have an ex around. And if you do have an ex around, then don't go searching for a relationship. Or if somebody comes to you, do not enter into a relationship until you have come to that peace in yourself to say you're ready to let go of your ex. And until you're ready to let go, whether you think it's a friendship or you think it's more than whatever you think it is, the fact that they're around, it's more than what it is in some way or another. So until you can come to say, actually, I'm ready to let go and walk away and I am at peace with that, then do not entertain another person, because you do not have that right to bring another person into your life and entertain that person and still have someone else around. I think that is wrong from the off go, and I don't think it's it's not the right thing to do. As far as I'm concerned, it's so not the right thing to do. And I've done it before. And that's how I know. I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say I've done it. And it does not feel good. It feels like you actually could feel like you're actually cheating. And because in a way, like I'm not an expert on these things or anything, but I've heard on other podcasts and stuff where people say even a thought about somebody else is the start of cheating, because your mind is entertaining and going to another person when you have a partner in your life. So why would you be thinking of the opposite sex when you have that in your life already, right?
And that's a very, very strong statement, and I'm glad that you made it. Again, it's just understanding that you're trying to protect a relationship, this new relationship that you have. And a lot of people need to understand that it's not an insecurity, it's you want to protect what you have. And if they still have an ex lingering around, they need to go deal with that before they deal with you. And I love that Anthea said that, because what you're doing is, if you bring other people into the fold, you're test driving other people's hearts. That's what it is you're doing. And you're kind of just waiting for that opportunity to go back to an ex. And that's the thing. We all know it. We go as human beings where comfort is. So obviously you're comfortable with your ex. You dated them for a long period of time. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I had somebody, and again, before I say this other statement, this also includes people that you used to sleep with, not just an ex.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
That also includes people you used to sleep with.
Yeah.
What happened with me is my best friend cut me off. We had a little entanglement. And she cut me off. She met a new person and she cut me off. I was very upset, but again, at the same time, I understand she really wants this new relationship more than anything. And me and her have history, at least 6 years worth, and she wanted to give it a shot with this new dude. Can't be mad at that.
No, you can't. This is the thing. And I've had somebody do that, and I'm glad they've done it. And I think it's the best thing, because actually, and when someone takes that leap and actually does it, it sets you both free to be able to move forward, because then you've got clarity in yourself to say, well, there's no lingering around, there's no questioning of what if, or maybe we could.
Well, they're serious about the relationship.
Yeah, and you can that they're serious about their relationship, and you can respect that, Michael. And if if somebody's still trying to push on to say, well, why have you cut me off just because you've got someone in your life? No, that is actually that's that person needed to heal themselves seriously.
They just need to let go of what. And I've said this on the podcast before, choose somebody that chooses you.
Yeah. And I love that. I love it when you say that. It's so true. Choose someone.
And if they're not choosing you, is that somebody you really want to be with?
No.
Probably not.
No.
And it's only because the reason why you want them is because they don't want you.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that as soon as you got them, you'd be like, okay, I don't want them no more. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys that understand that even when you're dating somebody, you need to ask the tough questions. Not on the first date, but I'm saying once it's been established that there will be a regulatory of dates, you need to figure out if an ex is still lingering around.
Yeah.
Because if an ex is still lingering around, and context is everything, like Anthea said, are they going out for coffee? Are they talking regular? What do they have entangled? Some people have, let's say, a pet entangled, like they brought a dog together, they have a house together, something like that. I would just, if it's that at that point, I would just get it. I would not. I would just say, hey, look, I wish you the best of luck and move on. But it depends on the context, because then at the same time, if I like the person, I'd be like, look, you need to go sort that out. I'm not telling you what to do. And again, I'm always going to say that. I'm not telling you what to do. You could do what you want, but you need to understand that if you're going to deal with me, I don't deal with that.
Absolutely. And just to add to what you're saying, even if there's a dog around, let's say it's a dog, then it has to come to a point where you have to either take that dog or you let that dog be with your ex-partner, because, there's such thing as dog boarding, where you could, if you're going to go away on holiday, you take your dog to somewhere, someone's house, or there's dog kennels, or there's dog something or other, or there's dog sitting. You don't need to have your ex around, and you have to be able to let go of that dog as well. Or if it's a
No, but
cat,
like, let's say they're doing like 50-50, like one weekend they have the dog and the other weekend, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Like
I still
something.
think you just got to let go of that,
Oh,
because
yeah. I would
I think
personally.
it's, you know what, Michael, I think even if you're doing 50-50, it's at the end of the day, it's not your child in that sense. Yes, I understand that a lot of people, when you take on a dog, it's like your child. I
Yeah,
get
I was about
that.
to say that.
However, it's not, like, let's be real here, it's not your child. So I think they're still using an excuse to see the other person by doing that. You either just let go. At the end of the day, you either come to a decision, you say, well, I take the dog, or that person says, I'll take the dog, but you just have to let go. Maybe they send you a photo once every few months. Okay, but you don't need to physically see that person anymore. You've done with the relationship, which means whatever was in that relationship is now over. If it's a house, you go to the solicitors, you go legally through that. You don't need to go and see that person. And if you're looking for excuses to go and find that person, then you're not of them. You don't need another
No,
person in your life. I think a lot of
I
things are
agree with that.
excuses, right? A lot of it's just excuses, and to say, oh yeah, but no, there's no yeah, but you're done. You're done. Finished, done, you're done.
Well, I actually want to include another thing in here. This includes anybody you used to sleep with. Why are you still talking to them? Like, let's say you're getting to know somebody new and you're just, you're having casual conversation, which is going to come up. It's normal. And, you start to know like people that they're around or whatever. And the person admits, like, yeah, we used to have a thing. And they still have this person around. That's a no.
Absolutely.
Because then, as I said again, and as we spoke about, if something goes left, or let's say they ever need their needs met, because let's say you're not in a serious relationship, but you're just getting to know them, to have a thing, they're going over there to that individual to get their needs met.
In some way or another, absolutely.
Especially if it's someone they
Absolutely.
used to sleep with. And it depends. Let's say they're like, oh, yeah, we used to sleep together like 2 weeks ago. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely good, right? I
No,
can
I'm
find
good.
someone who doesn't have that in their life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
Or like, we
yeah,
used to sleep together like 3 months. Like, nah, I'm good. Like, if they're still keeping them around, it's like, why? Then clearly it's, you get some benefits from that part, but it's just a no, man. It's just a straight up no. And I don't think anybody should be shamed or put down for having standards of what they're willing to deal with and what they're not willing to deal with.
no, I agree with that. I massively agree with that.
That's just something I'm just not willing to deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And
yeah,
if you
you
are,
might be butthurt about it, but too bad.
and the thing is, even if people say, oh, I'm willing to deal with that, you're not. It's going to come to a point where you're not going to accept it. And then you can't go back on yourself. You can't just come into a relationship. You're not quite happy with that. And then you start saying, oh, but why are you still seeing that person? Well, you should have asked that from the beginning, because now you started this relationship with a yes to saying, I don't mind you having your ex-partner around, because the person, your new partner, has said, oh, there's nothing to worry about. We're not, we don't have nothing towards each other. We just get on really well. And that's all it is. There's nothing more to it. And then you go, oh, okay. And then as you go along, you think at some point it's not going to bother you. It's going to bother you. Of course. It's going to, your partner, whether the male or female, is going to be seeing another female or seeing another male. Like,
I
why would
agree,
you
and
bother?
I love that you said that though, because it's interesting, because they'll be like, oh, we get along really well. Yeah, because that person makes you, that person excites you in the bedroom. That's why. That's why. So that's why it's better. As I said, look, guys, what we're asking you to do is have confidence to be
Yeah,
able to walk away from something that clearly is not for you. And it's also understanding and again, I'm going to put it into context because I want to talk about this, is sexual compatibility. We're actually probably just going to do a not today, but some point soon is a podcast where we just straight up talk about that. Because some people get with people and they're not compatibly sexually at all. Some people have higher sex drives than others. Some people are into certain things than others. So I think it's a very important conversation to have. We touched on it a little bit when Stefan Speaks said that is one of the things that causes a relationship to fail is sexual incompatibility.
And it's big, isn't it? Because it's part of your relationship and it will always be part of your relationship.
It's
It
part of
will
your
always be.
relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's one of the components, one of the ingredients to a good relationship.
Exactly. And you can't have somebody in your relationship that you're in a relationship. Like, let's say you like a specific thing and they like a different thing. You cannot, in good conscience, do that thing that they want you to do or do that thing that they're into and you're not into to make them happy or keep them around. If you're not into it, you're not into it.
End story.
Like, that's it. Don't date them, because what you start to do is you start to I know we're going off topic here, but you start to compromise your identity for that individual.
Yeah.
And that's what you shouldn't do. And that's what we're going to talk about when it comes to sexual incompatibility is don't say yes to something that you know that in your spirit and soul that you are not, I don't want to say not okay with, but like that you're not about. Because
but I think,
now you're going to do it. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, please go. No, now you're going to do it.
I was going to say, now you're going to do it as in the sense of to keep them around and keep them from leaving.
And I was just going to say, it really does combine with what we're actually talking about. Don't say yes to it's okay to have someone's ex around just because you want to keep this person and have them in your life. Yeah, it's not going to work. I think, again, it's going against yourself, isn't it?
Well, I think we should do a podcast on, because I know we talked about compromising, and that is, if you guys want to see it, go back to our playlist. You'll be able to see it. And that's the thing. People are compromising too much. They're compromising too much when it comes to dealing with someone that has their ex around. They're compromising too much when it comes to sexual incompatibility. Look, guys, that's where you get hurt. Nobody hurts you. This is what I like to say. Nobody hurts you. You hurt yourself by the choices that you make when it comes to dealing with somebody.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. And people will say, oh, you hurt me. No. You've made that choice. You've allowed that to take place. And you feel hurt because it goes out of your values, out of your morals, out of your ways, but you still allowed it. And then you blame the other person.
That's why emotional intelligence is so important.
Yeah.
And that's what, as I said, you guys cannot be afraid to walk away, man. Like, as I said, if someone's still involved with their ex, you know what you need to do. You walk away.
Yep. And
you don't stay. Excuses. Yeah, stop making excuses. Stop tolerating certain things. Leave. Just leave. So with that being said, guys, this is we're ending the episode. My mind's like all over the place. I love it. Because I wanted to say that Friday's episode we're going to be asking the question of, what do you bring to the table offensive? And that's on Friday. And I know a lot of people feel touch and go about that question. I personally think it should just be reworded, but we'll discuss it on Friday.
Yeah, because it's what do you bring to the table? Yeah, do you know what? I'm actually quite excited about going through that one. I'm quite excited about that one because it is a big thing that people ask it, and
we hear it all over the internet. It's what do you bring to the table? What are you bringing? What are you this? And it's like, so I think it's time for us just to unpackage that one. So we will see you guys Friday. Hopefully you guys took something away from this. The point of these conversations is to give you the confidence to make certain decisions, to have a certain level of understanding, and a certain level of being.
Yeah.
So hopefully you
And it's
guys
all
can
from
learn from that.
experience as well. And it's from experience, and the conversations always open up and can give you that aha moment and help you realize what is happening in your own relationship. And I think that is, it's big. So listening to these could make a huge difference. And it's not for everybody. It's just not for everyone. But for the ones that it is for, it could be life changing.
Well, we're not everybody's cup of tea. I don't want
No,
to be everybody's cup of tea.
no.
So,
No, I'm with
but
you.
yeah, well, exactly. We'll see you guys on Friday. And as I said, hopefully you took something away from this episode.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.